Last time on Square Roots, we get a taste of the taint, a heaping helping of betrayal, ride in an eagle's claw, allegedly. Then it's fear and loathering in Lost Lothering when we go to Lothering. Lothering!
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Vape.
Hello.
Such a healthy hobby. I guess it's better than smoking.
Oh, that actually hurt bad. You're awful people.
Hey Matt.
Hey buddy.
Matt's here.
It's me.
Joined by John Blood Mage Brandon.
I'm a blood mage. I've got forbidden magics.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And we are a podcast that plays and then talks about classic RPGs for your listening pleasure.
One chonker at a time.
One chonker.
It's one thing that I enjoyed about the last season that we did where Jim was not around and I did Mr. Hosty guy thingies was that I got to say one chonker at a time.
Mm-hmm. It's satisfying.
It is. It's nice and fun to say. Try it at home, listeners, or in your offices or cars. Just say it out loud. Just do it. Just go for it. Seize the day. Carpe
Storm
the
into
day.
your boss's office. Storm into your boss's office. Put your finger in his face and say one goddamn chonker at a time.
If you're outside and you see like a stranger, go ahead. You have my permission.
At a time.
Let's see. Do you guys want to talk about how you leveled up?
Let's talk about what game we're playing this series and what episode we're on. What game are we playing?
We're playing Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite Dragon Age. Wah, wah, wah.
Boop, 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 boop.
But it's not. John's favorite is too, and many listeners have written in to tell us that they love Inquisition, but have not tried Origins.
How many Dragon Age games are there even?
3. Or is there I think there might be a PSP game somewhere in there.
Oh,
There's
nobody thinks that counts.
Defo a comic book.
That's not even a game.
Ooh, should I look those up and read them? I will. I won't. I'll think about it and then I'll forget.
Do it right now. Do it on the air.
Do it on the air. Dr. Aegon. Anyway, and this is episode 3, so, right? Or is this 4?
This is 3.
This is 3. I missed the last one because I had a cold, and I just said, fuck it, like a big baby.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah, that's a real baby
It was
move.
pretty great.
Yeah, this is episode 3 of the Dragon Age Origins series. We're going to cover the Redcliffe Castle segment and the Earl of Redcliffe quest line, and we're going to do the Mage Tower.
Boy, this, we should seriously consider paring this down. This Mage Tower was the longest thing that ever happened, and it's 100% boring.
It's long.
I object to what Jim just said.
Why?
We're not doing the whole Earl of Redcliffe quest line.
Well, I said we're doing the castle as part of the Earl of Redcliffe quest line.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, we did that stuff, and we're going to talk about it. But before we do that, what else are we going to do, guys?
Do we want to level up?
I mean,
Is that a thing you guys want to do?
it feels like it would be the appropriate thing to do. I missed an episode, and I have a lot to talk about. I'm going to have to try to condense it down. I watched the show Young Justice, and I subscribed to the DC Universe app or whatever platform.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody here, raise your hand if you've seen Young Justice. Raise your hand if you know what it is.
Kind of.
Since Vanessa doesn't have her camera on, I'm just going to assume that she didn't raise her hand for either one of those.
I
She
did
did.
raise my
She did.
hand. I've watched all of Young Justice, season 1 and 2.
Goodness. Well, then I apologize. Well, good. Then let's talk about it, because did you know it's the best goddamn show on the planet?
It's real good. It's
was-
much better than any of the movies and whatnot DC is putting out.
Heck yeah. I was shocked to discover how well it holds up even 10 years after it originally came out. How old is it? I feel like it's old.
I don't actually know, but yeah, it's good. It has a lot of characters that you don't necessarily see a lot of times. I love Zatanna, and she's in it. It's got your Bumblebee. It's got your Red Tornado and all kinds of shit about him.
There's
Pretty good.
I like how it is essentially it is superheroes, but it's just like as an espionage show, like Mission Impossible basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal. So I wanted to get caught up for the new season that just launched, and I don't think I talked about this on the show, so please tell me if I did. And I don't want to give a bunch of spoilers away for the third season if anybody is going to watch it. But I do want to encourage our listeners that are interested and like to watch good cartoons to check it out, because it is the bestest show ever. I mean, can we talk about, like, the best plot point ever is when one of my favorite characters goes back from the future to stop, like, the destruction of the world. You know, like to go back and kill Hitler before he becomes Hitler, basically, but like with like superheroes. But he does it to go back and become the guy's best friend, and that's how he's going to stop him from becoming evil. It's delightful and wonderful. Yeah, and I also went and saw the movie Dragon Ball Super
You keep
Brawly.
saying you saw Dragon Brawly. That sounds made up. There's no
And
movie called Dragon Brawly.
It was really good for what it was, which was a Dragon Ball fucking movie. It was Dragon Ball the movie.
Can I ask a question about it?
Yes. Vanessa.
Was there a part when the hero summoned all of his powers for a giant mega attack and blasted the villain, and there was this big explosion and a whole bunch of dust filled the air, and then the hero and his friends stood there with like their mouths open being like, we did it. But then as the dust started to clear, they're like, oh, and the dust clears all the way, and you see the villain just standing in this crater with like a smirk on his face, and he's like, your attack didn't even hurt me. Was there that part?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. I don't know if that happens or not.
You just said that you saw the movie.
Yeah, I did see the movie for sure. I saw it with my eyeballs.
You're lying. You've made up this story to sound cool. You want all of the listeners to think that you're some cool guy who goes to the Dragon Ball Z movie, and you probably don't even know who Krillin is.
I just don't. I'm not great on details. So anyway, but it's really great. It's really well animated. It's pretty and fun to watch, and it's got all sorts of crazy Dragon Ball shenanigans. And it spends like 20 minutes doing basically Superman's backstory, but for Goku, and introducing, you know, this character Brawly. And also you get a few scenes of like preteen Vegeta, and like it's hilarious. And I want him to be my buddy. Like, can he come and live with me and he can be my other son? Little baby Vegeta. He's adorbs. All right. I'm going to wrap it up, I guess. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about, guys? Does anybody remember?
I like Krillin because he doesn't have a nose.
Yeah, he doesn't have a nose. And he always is like the very first person to get beat up and then disappear. And it's really, and sit on the sidelines and go, ah!
Yeah, but Krillin, like the strongest human, right?
No.
Krillin, the strongest human in Dragon Ball world.
All right, maybe.
But
Who knows?
everyone else so stronger.
So anyway, I guess that's all I did. I watched a bunch of cartoons, guys. I'm pretty cool like that. Vanessa, how did you level up?
I've been trying to be down with the kids. So I went on the YouTube and looked at a video about how to floss. And I practiced it by myself in my bedroom. And sometimes I can get my hips to go the way they're supposed to go when my arms go the way they're supposed to go. All the time I can get my hips to go the way they're supposed to go independent of my arms. And all the time, well, 80% of the time I can get my arms to go the way they're supposed to go independent of my hips. But doing the hips and the arms together is very difficult. Nevertheless, I'm going to keep practicing because I want to be good at Fortnite, but not the game, just the dance.
Technically, that dance came out before Fortnite. Fortnite stole it.
That dance originated when Taylor Swift chose a child at random to elevate to backpack status, is my understanding.
No.
And now I was listening to the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack on Spotify, and the song popped up, and it was not a good song, but it said that it was by Backpack Kid, who I believe is the inventor of the floss dance, and he has a song now. So I don't really understand youth culture, but I think that if I could floss, they would let me in. So that's my goal. Also, I have been catching up on the television show Gotham. I am the only person who watches the television show Gotham. I like it. No, anywhere. I like it because it's just Batman fan fiction. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's how I leveled up. Jim, how did you level up?
That's a very interesting attitude about Gotham just being fan fiction for Batman. That's how I feel about everything like Batman related, which is why I think I can love things like Batman vs. Superman, my favorite movie.
Yeah, I saw that movie on TV and it's not good.
Well,
but you know, we all love things that aren't good.
That's true too.
Jim loves
Lamp.
Well, I guess I don't want to step on his level up by saying what Jim loves, but we all know what it is.
Skanks. Skankin'.
Right, Jim loves skankin'.
Yeah. Speaking of things that aren't good, I went and saw a ska show headlined by the Real Big Fish just last night.
What?
When you say last night, do you mean in 1997?
It felt like 1997.
Nice.
Were people dressed? Were people basically cosplaying like ska people?
I saw a man in. He was wearing white and black checkered suspenders, giant Doc Marten boots, and then a big like baseball cap that had the word "skankin" emblazoned across it.
Was there
That's
a part?
Amazing.
Was there part of the songs that went like?
I don't think so. But there were a lot of smelly people. I entered this contest on the venue's Facebook page that said, "Hey, click this button and you could enter for a chance to win some tickets." And then so I did it, and then they emailed me and said, "Hey, you're a winner and you won some tickets." So I went and picked up my tickets. And they had like this big stack of tickets and it was marked Facebook winners. And I was like, how many people won this contest? And they're like, oh, well, we didn't sell enough tickets. That's just how we give away.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is just to like pack the venue and make it seem like Real Big Fish is popular.
So the people who actually want to go aren't just like sad.
Yeah, there were a lot of tickets.
Yeah.
given
Also,
away.
they make a lot of money off of like concessions and sales and stuff, so they just want to get as many people there as fucking possible.
Yeah, the drinks were at least it was $12 for a domestic beer.
Jesus. Were they big boys at least, like 20 ounces or something?
They were big 24 ounces.
Yeah.
But still.
That's
Did
what,
you bring a friend?
Everything around here does the same thing.
I did not. I went alone to a ska show on a weeknight.
Did you go straight from work?
I did.
So were you dressed like business casual?
No, I bought like I wear casual. Like we can dress casual to work.
No.
So I went straight from work and then just drove half a mile to the train station and then jumped on the train and went over there.
Skanking.
That sounds great. And I actually think that it's admirable when adults are comfortable going to events by themselves that they're interested in.
Yeah, it was fun. It was nice to just get out and do something and hear some music. And the opening bands were not great. But the Real Big Fish did an okay job.
Did you just like sit at the bar and nurse beers all night and watch the show from the corner? Or did you get out there and get on the mosh pit and like skank it up with?
No,
the bros?
I was on the perimeter of the mosh pit, but I did not mosh.
Jim's a little too big to mosh, I feel like.
I am a tall, broad man.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you'd just kind of be like, if you tried to jump and things like that, just like jamming your crotch into people's shoulders, and that would be strange.
I mean, I really hope that there's like as you know, Real Big Fish in that era of music gets further behind us. I really look forward to old man mosh pits.
There were some
future
old men
skank
there
shows,
for sure.
Future ska shows in the
dear.
future. Less than Jake and Real Big Fish when they're one group that just plays together all the time because that's all anybody can remember is Less Than Fish.
You know, it was funny. One of the opening bands, it was Mest, who's like, you know, one of those bands that peaked in the 90s on the Warped Tour.
And with one song.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, with one song. But in between their songs, like the lead singer was talking about, like in between two of their songs, he's like, I've had 2 back surgeries and my ankles hurt a lot and it hurts to jump, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Oh boy, that's
Oh, poor buddy.
And then at the end of their set, he's like, I have a 4-year-old kid. Please go buy merch so I can feed him. And it's like, that is really
yikes.
sad.
That is roof.
He's making a living through his art.
Roof.
Yeah, yeesh.
I haven't seen a mosh pit since the early 2000s.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw anything like that either.
Maybe mid-2000s. It was at a Flogging Molly concert, which I did not enjoy.
Yeah, I can't imagine why anyone would.
Unless you live in Boston.
Yeah, unless you live in Boston and you are really proud of that fact. I don't know why anybody would give a shit about Flogging Molly.
I did not live in Boston.
Why'd you go?
It was a friend's birthday, and he wanted to go for his birthday.
Was
so
he from Boston?
No.
Is your friend Mark Wahlberg?
Yes, and he was down on the floor with
Doing the dinosaur?
girlfriend doing
With
the
everybody?
mosh. And
Wait, they were on the floor doing the
they
mosh?
were down on
That's
the
not quite how
floor
mosh
doing
is.
the mosh.
Are we
and
talking
then-
about Ben Affleck doing the mosh?
Yeah, and then like
Beantown
the
Bat
other
Boy Ben Affleck?
3 of
The
us who
mattress
came
mosh.
were like up in the balcony, and I remember one of my friends fell asleep. So he was just like napping in the balcony during this punk concert.
That's funny.
And the rest of us were just waiting for it to be over. And that's my Flogging Molly story.
Wow, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Should we wait for John and his opportunity to level
I
up? Or should we
don't
just
think so.
continue?
John has been summoned away to do some adult things or something. Who knows what he's doing.
John's he's being industrious elsewhere right now.
But he'll probably rejoin us before we're done, unless we're super quick. So let's try to do it as a fun prank against him.
Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the quest log, everybody.
Woohoo! The campfire is crackling. Oh, Matt, I forgot to ask you. When you were camping, did you give any gifts to your companions?
No.
Did they give any gifts to you?
Mm-mm.
No. That's too bad. I usually try to save all my gift giving for when we're at camp, because then sometimes you get special cutscenes.
I still have not given any gifts at camp in this game, and I really need to, because they are taking up 1,000% of my inventory.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of that stuff.
It is junk, and I've got to get rid of it.
Give some presents to Alistair.
So where did we leave off last time on the old quest log, Jimothy?
We defended Redcliffe during the siege of Redcliffe, and now we're going to take a little trek into the castle and see what's happening there.
Yeah. We're gonna go see that dreamy Bantegan.
Yeah.
Up by the
and
windmill.
He tells we come up with a plan to get into the castle. I think we're gonna go through the downstairs and he's gonna go through the upstairs.
Yes, this lady comes running out. What's her name? Isolde?
Isolde, yes.
Isolde, and she's like, "Oh, Bantegan, you have to come into the castle, but only you can come into the castle."
Yeah, something seems weird.
Mm-hmm. I had Alistair with me, and he recognized her as the woman who married his uncle and then had him sent away to the chantry. And so he's like, "Hello." And she's like, "Alistair! Bleh, bleh. What are you doing here? Alistair! Boo!"
It's a pretty good impression.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's my Orlesian woman.
Let's see. So we they say that so we're not we're told we have to go through the bottom of the castle.
Yeah, it's like being sent through the service entrance.
Yeah, we have to go through the cellar. There's a lot of corpses in the castle.
Yeah, but not the lie down kind. The stand up
No.
and fight you kind.
Yeah, the undead enemy kind.
They're shambling.
They are shambling corpses.
Mm-hmm.
And there's skeletons here as well, I believe.
Probably. And sort of
Skeletons.
viscera around. And
Yeah, you can pick up some corpse gall.
Yeah. And my favorite, a man in a cage.
Oh yes, there is. So we're told. I don't remember if we're told about this or if this man in the cage tells us. His name is Jowan.
Is this guy Matt's friend from the beginning?
It
Like
is.
from his origin? Oh, it's your buddy.
Yep.
What was your reunion like?
I don't really trust him, and I don't really have time for his bullshit, basically. He's
your
a real
best
simpering
friend.
douchebag, and I don't. No, he almost got me kicked out of the fucking.
Oh, that's right. He told you he wasn't a blood mage and promised, but then he was, right?
He was. He's a fucking blood mage, and it turns out that this dumbass wife has hired him to kill her husband.
Poison the Arl.
No, his wife, the Arl's wife, hired or took Jowan into her service to train her son Connor on the sly how to use the magic that she discovered that he has, and because she did not want to tell the Arl because he would send him away to the Circle.
Yes,
to the
all
Chantry.
mages must go to Hogwarts.
But he also
Hogwarts
poisons
prison.
the Arl.
Yes, but
right?
Jowan is also forced or paid or contacted. I don't remember what the fuck happened to you by Logain.
Jowan, yeah, he told me that Logain did it.
Yeah, Logain.
Oh right,
has used
log chain.
Jowan to try to assassinate the Arl. So he has once again gotten himself in some deep shit, and I was real tempted to just leave his ass to die. I don't have any patience for this shit.
But he's your best friend.
No, he's a scumbag. He's a liar.
So what did you do? Did you leave him there to die?
No, maybe. I think I left him there.
You can leave him there. Because you can tell him to like leave, I think, and like figure shit out for himself. I think, or you can just leave him there.
Yeah, he told me that he really wanted to help and promised that if I let him out, he would be very helpful, very good blood mage, no blood, all mage. So I let him out and sent him off to help.
I did the same thing.
What did he go do?
Well,
you meet him in a few minutes.
Yeah.
We might as well just skip there because the only thing between there and what we're about to talk about is just a bunch of corpses.
I found a lady in a closet.
You did?
Yeah,
Yeah, I sure
the
did.
blacksmith's daughter.
Oh yeah.
You get a quest.
I also found this.
You get
lady.
a quest in Redcliffe to find the blacksmith's daughter, and you do. And I told her to go back the way that I came out through the secret exit or whatever, because all them monsters was dead.
If you remember from the last episode, in order to convince the drunk blacksmith to help the town of Redcliffe, you have to promise to find his daughter in the castle, and that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And find her I did, which is good because I never did find that missing child who was in the closet who you guys mentioned. So he's either still closeted or he's dead.
Probably both. So, you, what were we saying?
We're about to talk to Connor in the upper floors of the castle.
Yeah, we go outside, we open the gate and let Ban Tegan in.
Is that guy's name Ban Tegan, or is Ban some sort of title?
It's his title.
Yeah, like a Darth.
Like a what? A dart?
No, like Darth Vader.
Oh, Darth.
What's a Ban?
Like a dart.
It's like a Bannon. It's like Bannon.
Yes,
Gotcha.
it's just like Bannon.
It's like Bannon, your brother.
Mm-hmm. Or
I
Ban
guess
from
it's like
Final
how
Fantasy VI.
it's like it's like Baron maybe,
Yeah, that's what I would think.
because like Sarah
I mean,
is like
it's-
Sir.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like Bannerman, Bannon, Ban.
Yeah, I think it's like because there's Arl, which is higher than a Ban, I believe.
It is. Arl's like a duke.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what my character's family was. They were Arls, and then Ban is like what's below a duke? A knight? They're not knights. A baron? I don't
I think
know
so.
the
I think
hierarchy
Lords.
of... Yeah.
They're like royalty.
Yeah, they're like
people.
generic lords.
Yeah,
Yeah. Generic lords. Generic shit lords.
Oh.
but I
Well,
think
some of
I think a
them.
Ban is above a Ser, but below an
Yeah.
Arl.
Goes
Hey, do you guys know how much this matters to this quest? Not at all.
Van Tegan is
So
pretty
we-
dreamy. I mentioned we flirted last time, but he does have one braid of hair. Like he has sort of a short haircut, but he's braided one bit of it, which I guess means it must be longer than the rest of his hair when it's unbraided. And as we established last time, that is exactly the kind of thing that I want to snip a snap off if I have the opportunity.
Right, that does make sense.
So we open the gate and let him in.
Right.
Yeah, and everybody gets in to talk to little Connor. I feel like we haven't talked about one of the characters. Isn't there another character besides Ban Tegan in here or no? It's Ban Tegan. Oh, Ban Tegan, Isolde, and Connor.
Yeah,
here, right?
Right. Oh,
In
I'm
mine,
sorry,
Ban
I misspoke.
Tegan-
Someone else came in the gate. Ban Tegan's already inside.
Yeah, that in my game, Ban Tegan is he snuck in before we did, and bad things are happening with him. At the gate,
I think pretty good things are happening with him.
at the gate was another Knight guy, Knight Bryant, Knight
Oh, maybe he's the one who needs the haircut.
Brian the Knight.
Bryant,
And the
or-
knight
I
is
think it is Sarah
lower
Bryant.
than the Ban, who is lower than the Arl,
Yeah,
who
he's
is below the king.
this guy's like head of the Templar Knights of. So he's like part of the ones that were sent away to go look for the Holy Grail.
Right, those guys.
Oh, in this case, the ashes of whatever, right?
Yes, the Ashes of Andraste.
Yeah.
in the urn.
Yes, Ashes of Andraste.
Yeah, this is the whole brother genitalia thing.
Brother Genitally.
Brother
Yes.
genitalia.
I was gonna do it and then I didn't.
And then I did
but
it.
then you did it for
And
me.
I did it for you.
That's good,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Somebody had
I
to do
know.
Yeah,
it.
someone did. Anyway, we go on in. Van Tegen's having a great time. He is doing a little dance.
Mm-hmm. Making a little love.
I guess he loves to dance, so in that sense he is. Yeah, he's doing like a sort of a jester dance, a minstrel kind of dance. He's rolling around on the floor.
Juggling fushigi balls too.
He got some sweet moves, and then he's like, hup, 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 hup.
I would love it if he was doing contact juggling.
Yeah, he's
with some
doing
fushigi
contact
balls.
juggling. And then he has like one of those conch things on the rope, and he's doing those tricks.
Vanessa sent me a very nice video of a Soviet man doing super heavy ball juggling.
Yes, he loves heavy
Whoa.
balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had like I don't know how much they weighed, but quite a lot, apparently. And he was sort of doing a combination strong man contact juggling act.
It was very, and he was also a large man wearing like a little, what looked like, do you remember Namor from the Marvel comics, I think? His little fish Speedo? It looked like his fish Speedo. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
But
Back to
I
this
sent
game.
it to you because of your interest in contact juggling. So
Right.
I
I
wasn't
do
paying
love
attention to
fushigi.
what he was wearing.
And close-up magic.
Well, then, let me tell you about my friend Steve Valentine. Yeah, so he's doing a great dance. Connor loves it. Isolde is less interested. And everyone's happy, right, Jim?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Connor at all. You find out that the Arl's not actually poisoned. He's just really sleepy.
Yeah, classic Arl.
A real misunderstanding here, and then they let you
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
that's not what happened to me at all.
Yeah, and that's it for this episode of Square Roots.
There's some complications.
No.
Yeah,
There are.
Connor is he's got, like little Damien.
Mm-hmm.
Or like that Twilight Zone where the little kid sends
That's
people
exactly
to the
what I was
cornfield.
thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, where he like can warp reality with his little kid brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So he's been making undead soldiers for to play with.
Mm-hmm.
He's been making Van Tegan do a happy dance.
Mm-hmm. He didn't like how Van Tegan used to yell at him, and so now he's made him the happiest person in the world.
Mm-hmm. And he seriously negs his mother like a whole bunch.
Yeah. I was not comfortable with that.
Yeah, he refers to her gender and tells her she's stupid. And then when my character came, he's like, "Mother, who is this?" And I can't see her, or I can't see what this is. And the mother was like, "Oh, that's a woman, just as I am." And the kid was like, "Not like you. This woman's half your age and twice as pretty. I'm surprised you don't have her killed."
Mm-hmm.
And it was
And
like, "Dude,
Jeez.
that's your mother."
for mine is like, oh, that's an elf, dear, and like what we have in the kitchens. And he says, oh yeah, I would slice their ears off for fun.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Eee.
we'll find out what's wrong with him in this. It's pretty evident by now. But the hatred of women seems to suggest like a self-hating woman because he's possessed by a woman demon.
Oh, interesting.
Mm.
What did he have to say about your dwarf, Jim?
Not a lot really. I was more concerned with like what I didn't understand what was going on at first. Like you walk into the room and Van Tegan is dancing like a weirdo, and I was like, what the hell is going on in this game? I was more concerned with what this blood mage had to say. I'm gonna be really honest. I had a kind of some trouble following what was going on here
Well,
because I didn't understand what was happening because the mom is lying to you about stuff, and then the blood mage comes in, and then it got kind of confusing for me for a second.
Yeah,
It's very lore heavy.
Yeah,
It is.
and it's
Because they're like,
Would you like me to spell it out for you?
please.
Not in the aggressive way of saying that. I just mean in the
Yeah, fucking explain it to me. Be as condescending as you can.
DEAMON.
So, the child, what's the child's name? Oh, Connor, of course, because it's Matt's kid's name. Which must have been
Yes, Matt named his child after
right.
this character.
Yeah, so
Dragon
Connor
Age.
has been possessed by a demon since he's a mage. They wanted to hide the fact he was a mage, which is how they hired Jowan, the blood mage, because he was on the run from the Chantry, so he wouldn't report back to the Chantry, because every mage has to be registered. So that was the mom's general reason for doing that. And
He was an apostate.
yeah, the Arl was very sick, so in order to keep him from dying, it looks like the boy contacted a mage, and that's why.
Demon.
Yeah, a demon, in order to save his father's life. But in return, the demon took over his body.
Yeah.
He was
From
not
what I
powerful enough to
understand,
resist.
Yeah, it's kind of like the idea in, I think they talked about it in Knights of the Old Republic, that Jedis are kind of always hunted by the dark side, and the dark side's always looking for a way in. But in this world, mages are always sort of susceptible to demonic possession.
Right. And now he's an abomination. And that's what you call it when a mage has been possessed by demons, as will, I assume you have not got past this other part, as it's so long. There's more about abominations later. And so there's the knights who are the Arl's knights who just came back, and those are the guys that you meet up with at the gate. And then there's Bantegan, who is related to the Arl, like the Arl's brother, I think.
I
Yeah.
think it's his brother.
Yeah, and that's the one who is now under mind control by Connor. And the mother just didn't want to tell you, because if anyone found out that her son was a mage, her son would be immediately taken away to live in the rest of his life in this circle forever.
Yeah, or they might just kill him now that he's possessed, because that's what you do with a possessed mage.
It's true.
You do get some options here, though.
Yeah.
You can kill him.
Well, first you get, at least for me, I just got. I think I said something wrong. You know what it was? Because the child Connor's like, "Hey, what do you want here? Are you here? Are you greedy? Are you here to arrest me?" And I said, "No, I'm just here for my own fun." And he didn't like that and rushed Bantegan on me, and his.
I tried to do that
knights.
too.
Yeah, he rushed them at me, but I said I was there to help him, and he's like, I don't need any help.
And
But you do.
if you want to quickly defeat Bantegan, because once again, I'm playing on hard, let me emphasize this. He's quite difficult. Just remember to encircle him. You need to have him taken down. Encircle him. He needs to be taken down. Huh? One person gets it.
Do they? Is that one person you?
No. Someone in the Facebook group who knew what I was talking about.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm glad we're devoting airtime to that one listener.
You know what? That's the kind of care and attention we give our listeners.
Yeah.
Stu Skeel, this next sentence is for you. Take it away, Jim.
So this is a actually I kind of found a tricky fight, but all the fights are tricky fights. Not as hard as that. I know you went over the one in the courtyard. The one in the courtyard took me like 2 hours. I just kept getting killed by that big
2
Yeah,
hours?
just kept getting killed over and over until I figured out how to cheese it. I had to Bart's tail it again, like kiting Basically, that encounter enemies spawn as you move across the map. So I'd do like 2 enemies and kill them, and then move forward, 2 enemies, kill them, and then kind of hide in a corner so the big bad guy couldn't get to me until the end, and I was just fighting him.
Why not just lower the difficulty?
I like playing it tricky.
Mm.
It's fun. So you kill Van Tegan, but you don't kill Van Tegan. He's fine. He's just like a little bit splattered with blood.
Yeah, you defeat him, but he's not
It
dead.
does. So if someone's ever possessed by a demon, just make sure you just knock out all their hit points, and that seems to eliminate like the control, not possession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's the same as in the Avengers when Hawkeye is possessed by Loki and under his control, and then Black Widow just hits him a whole bunch, and then he gets better.
Yeah. Yeah, you just if someone is controlled, not possessed, very very specifically, then you just reduce their hit points to 0.
Yeah,
they'll be
and
fine.
if you suspect that your friends or family are being controlled, just hit them.
I feel like as your lawyer, I cannot let us give that kind of advice on this podcast.
Oh, you may be right. Thank you for your sound counsel. I retract my statement. Do
Excellent.
not hit your friends and or family
Right.
ever.
Yes. But he now he wants to plan, and Jowen, who has been hiding in the shadows, offers his way of dealing with it. Either because the knights, as they are Templars, I think, are they Templars or are they just knights? Maybe they're just.
I don't know. I told them to wait outside.
Oh no, they came in with me. I took backup. They helped me with my fights. And
I didn't like the looks of them, so I was like, "You can just stay out here. I'm gonna go see
They
what's happening here
want
myself."
to kill the kid.
Of course they do. They're child killers. I knew it just by looking at them.
The mom is real horrified at that. Jowen comes in and says, "Hey, how about we use my blood magic, and we can one of your mages can go inside the boy's brain in the Fade and fight him. If they fight the demon in the Fade, it will break the possession, but this will come at the cost of someone's life."
Yeah, I need a human sacrifice.
And the mom is like, "I'll do it. It is my fault."
This is what I did. I sacrificed the mom in order to save the boy.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, why?
And I sent Morrigan into the Fade.
I also did.
Oh, John, why?
No, well, I did that. I sent Morgan into the Fade. I didn't do the other horrible part that Jim did.
Oh, you didn't do the blood ritual?
No.
Why not?
Because there's another ritual that you have to have a lot of mages and a lot of lyrium to do that will break the spell. But basically, you need the help of the mages in the mage tower to do it.
Yeah. They're like, well,
You know
you could do it now, or you could just go get you them mages from that tower.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny is I sacrificed the mom, and then spoiler alert, later in the game when you wake the Arl up and you tell him what happened, he basically says, "Wow, it's pretty unfortunate." And that's it.
Well, I
yeah.
think they had sort of a tumultuous marriage, She sent Cullen away. She seemed really excited to see Bantegan earlier. I don't know quite. Maybe it's more of a marriage of convenience. Matt, did you enjoy this small boy named Connor being possessed by a demon?
It's not great. It's you go through the Fade and you have to chase him down, and then he turns into demons and you have to kill him, and it just kind of goes on forever.
Did you get the aid of the mages at the tower?
I did. I went to the tower. So I did the Castle of Redcliffe up to the point where the mother said that she could sacrifice herself, or you could go talk to the mages. And I was like, well, I guess I'll go talk to the fucking mages, because I don't want to kill this kid's mom.
Yeah,
So,
I did that as well. I think we all did that except for Jim, who just didn't care.
Well, what I did was I defeated the siege. I finished the siege of Redcliffe and then went to the tower, which I don't recommend doing. I don't recommend doing it this way because then I came back after doing the whole tower stuff and did the castle. But then they are like, okay, well, go get your mage friends. Then you have to go all the way back to the tower, and then you get like more annoying encounters in between. So it's just better to wait until this point, then go to the tower and do all the tower stuff and come back.
Yeah, I just kind of fell into it backwards. I went up to that point, and then I was like, well, I don't want to do that. So I went and did the tower, and when I finished the tower, the Archmage, or whatever his name is, was like, anything else? And I was like, oh yeah, I need you to go to Redcliffe. And then he was there when I got there.
Ah, nice. So let's talk about this Mage's Tower that some of us did in between encountering Connor the first time and liberating his soul and or killing him. We'll get to what we chose to do in a minute. So we head over to the beautiful shores of Lake Callahan to visit the mages. And there's a grouchy ferryman guy, and he's like, you can't go across the lake.
Yeah, this is a real stupid fucking pain in the ass. This literal gatekeeper is standing here in front of the dock, and he's like, you can't go. And I thought like I'd figure out something clever to like, so I went around and talked to everybody in the town and in the inn, trying to like get some dirt or figure something out so that he would let me pass, because I didn't want to be like, I'm a Grey Warden, because I assumed he would attack me. Mm-hmm. But after having spoken to everybody in town and going back to him basically empty-handed, I was like, well, I am a Grey Warden. He's like, oh, well, then I'll let you across. I go, good.
I had to threaten him a little bit. Even telling him I was Grey Warden wasn't good enough.
He didn't believe me. He's like, yeah, you have a paper that says you're a Grey Warden. I have a paper that says I'm the Queen of Ferelden. Yeah, screw you.
I think, was there an option to ask him to present that to you? I can't remember. Because I wanted to see proof that he is the Queen of Ferelden.
I did. He did give me a little bit of shit at first. He was like, oh yeah, well go fight some Darkspawn in front of me and then I'll believe you. And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah. So I thought
my character, her name is Solana, and she takes no shit from no one, but also she a real bee sting, friends. She likes to tell me to get off her back. Oh, would you like a ladder so you can get off my back?
Oh, mine says that too.
She really gets on my nerves. So,
are you clicking for every attack? Because that's usually when they do it.
No, that's not when she does it for me. She does it when I do stuff like click around looking for, codexes to pick up and notes and opening things, opening chests and opening cabinets and drawers and yada, yada, yada.
Did you hear Dr. Stephen Stone's pro tip for this game where if you hold down tab, it shows you everything on screen that you can interact with?
Yeah, I started using that constantly. That's a real help. There should just be a way to keep that turned on. It's ridiculous that I have to hold down a button.
Yeah.
Change it to caps lock, make it into a toggle.
I'll make you into a toggle.
Make me into a toggle, John. I dare you. How about that Mage's Tower, guys? You finally convince old dipshit McGee here to take you across, and you're in the Mage's Tower, and you're who do you run into? Is it Duncan? No, that guy's dead, right?
It's a Chantry man.
It's Duncan.
It's a
spoiler alert. It's not Duncan.
What's his face? Is it what's his face from Inquisition?
Gregor. No, it's like Gregor at this point. We do run into what's his face later.
Right.
He's the head of the Templars, and he's like, guess what? I locked all the mages away because they're all plumb crazy. And we're just waiting for some help from Logain, and we're just going to go ahead and kill everyone in the tower.
That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, that's his plan.
He's just sent off for permission to use the, I can't remember what they're called, the bombs that he's put in all the mages' heads is basically, they suicide squatted. All of the mages are suicide squatted with little bombs in the bases of their necks or whatever. So when you see the mage named Slipknot that can tie anything and he just kind of vanishes, you know what happened with him.
Is that his power? He can tie anything.
He tries to zip away and then they blow his
He
head.
can tie a bow tie.
Climb anything?
He can tie a Windsor knot.
He can tie a Windsor knot.
He can tie a four in hand without even Googling it.
So, he's waiting for permission to use this to kill all the mages, basically, because the Mage's Tower has been infested. It's under assault by demons. Bum, bum, bum. And I think some of the mages were killing each other. And also there's blood mages running around. So there's been some sort of, like, non-chantry mage attack, and they've released a bunch of demons, and it's all gone to shit. And you have to convince this guy. I don't know what it was like for you guys, but for me, he was like he's like, I'll let you in there, but I'm gonna lock the door behind you, and the only way I'll let you out is if you have the Archmage with you.
I think that's
me that it's him.
Yep.
That's the way you got to do.
Yeah.
You can say you're gonna go in and kill everybody, right?
I think I might have said that, but that's not what I ended up doing.
That was a good punk, Jim. Matt, for you, this was a homecoming because the Mage's Tower is where your origin originated.
Yeah, so they were receptive to me when they saw me. I don't know if they hassled you. For me, it was like, oh yeah, we remember you. What do you want? And I was like, well, I'm a Grey Warden. And they're like, okay, you can do whatever you want, basically.
They were a little more skeptical about what I was doing, and they were pretty sure that we were going to die, but they're like, whatever, your funeral.
Am I getting everything I can get out of this game, guys? None of us are being particularly evil. Is it possible to, like, KOTOR this game where you can, like, kill everybody?
Yes. You can definitely have lots of, not everybody, but, like, you can not get Leliana, you can kill Sten, you can kill, like, an upcoming character that I met this chunker. Because I kept having to go back and forth.
Yep, you can also alienate other characters, and I got a lot out of this portion of the game because while I was clicking around, accidentally clicked on Alistair, who I've been, chatting with back at camp and applying with gifts when the moment arises. And he decided that here in the base of this tower, mages were slaughtered above us by abominations, was a good time to tell me that he had caught some feels. And so he was like, hey, what do you want to do when all this is over? Are you going to miss it? And I was like, miss this or miss you? And he's like, well, I'll have a little bit of feels. Wait, let me do his voice. I got some feels, I do.
Yeah.
And,
Oi, I got some feels.
Yeah. You think you could feel the same way? And then I was like, I think I already do. And then it, like, awkwardly cut to sort of a cutscene. And he said, oh, so I fooled you. Which I thought was a very strange thing to say. I guess he means, like, I fooled you into thinking I'm worth spending any time on.
Oh.
And then they had their very first kiss.
Like, was this in front of Gregoire?
Yeah, it was in front of everyone. all his old Templar buddies, everyone who was very concerned about just slaughter of innocents going on, just right on the other side of the door.
Do you get anything out of, like, giving them gifts? Is there any purpose for it other than to get into relationships with them?
Yeah, so they don't leave, and also they unlock skills the more.
Yeah, they get little boosts.
Yeah, they get, like, super big boosts. Like, the more they
they do.
Oh,
Alistair
boy.
got a super big boost.
In the Redcliffe Castle, you can pick up Alistair's mom's amulet.
Yeah.
And give it to him, and that gives you a lot.
Well,
of
here in
favor
the
with that guy.
tower too is Morrigan's mom's grimoire.
Oh yeah,
And that's a big thing. That's like a whole side quest.
She loved that.
So I the only person that's expressed interest in me romantically is Leliana, and she was like, oh, I just think you're so special, and I really love spending time with you. And I'm like, yeah, you're a great friend to me too, Leliana. I can't tell you how much being friends with you means to me.
Yeah, I did the same thing, and I felt kind of bad. But she was cool about it. She's just like, yes, we are friends.
Too religious. Get out of here, you lunatic. All right, so anyway, guys, so we enter the Mage's Tower, and up the tower we go. This whole thing is 1,000 hours long, and I don't know. Somebody describe it.
Well, the going up the stair, like the whole tower, there's a couple of, well, first you do meet someone immediately after going past the door. We talked about how she didn't have a action scene introduction last time, but you get an action scene introduction this time of Wynn, the old mage lady. She's
the
like
old mage lady with the body of a 20-year-old.
Yeah, and she's blasting baddies and being badass.
She might be my favorite party member so far.
Yeah. So you catch her in the midst of saving students and putting up a shield where she's been keeping the surviving students safe. And yeah, she vaguely remembers meeting me before, and we catch up a little bit. And she asks for my help in going through the rest of the tower and finding the first enchanter and getting rid of the abominations. And I say sure.
Yeah, and she's like locked into your party.
Yeah. I don't know if you can do this without her. Maybe you can. Who knows? I didn't try because I like her because she's got one. First of all, I only have one mage, so having a second mage is great. And secondly, she's got awesome heals. Like she can bring people back from the dead. She's got a group heal. She's got a regular heal.
Yeah, once I got her in my party, I don't think I'll ever take her out because she just hangs out in the back and heals up Alistair, who is my tank, because I got to have somebody up front taking damage because I am a mage, so I just stand there and blast the ever-living shit out of everything. And it's the best. And poor Alistair gets, like, that motherfucker gets as much zaps as every monster because he always wants to put himself right in between us, and they're all friendly fire, which is stupid, Dragon Age. Don't give me friendly fire spells. Jesus.
I'm enjoying that, like having to maneuver Morrigan. So my party was Morrigan, and she finally got a area of effect lightning spell, which is good. And I brought Leliana because there's stuff to open, and I gave her second level chest opening abilities, which is better. There's still a bunch of chests you can't open, but
yeah, I think there were two at the top of the tower that I could not open that I was really fucking pissed off about. Or maybe that was
me too. I was so sad.
Maybe that was in Redcliffe, actually, Redcliffe Castle. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
somewhere.
So I've got a lot of thiefy ability or needs. So I have her. I also gave her stealth, but I haven't figured out how to use because I don't want to control her because I'm busy with my mages. I don't have time to babysit her. So I gotta look up online the best tactics to give her so that I can just tell her to turn invisible and backstab people is all I want her to do.
Well, you got the elf, right?
Yes, I just got him.
Are you gonna swap her out for him? He does not have any lock picking.
I'll sort of. I like playing as everybody and getting to know all of them. So yeah. I swap people in and out. But if I'm doing anywhere with a lot of chests, like any kind of dungeon with chests, which is most of them, I want to have her with me or him. Anyway, but you can like as soon as he gains a level, you can give him basic lockpicking. But then you gotta wait 2 levels to give him good lockpicking.
Yeah, that's 3 levels to get him up to where she is with lockpicking. That's a lot, and it sucks because he has a lot of dual wield abilities, and I think that's cool. I want to use him, but ugh.
I pick my own locks and duel my own wield. I'm my own rogue.
Nice.
So who did you bring into this tower?
Usually, what I play in these games.
I brought Alistair, of course, so we could make out some more among the mage corpses.
Among all this bloody biomass growing out of the walls.
And Wynn, and I also brought Morrigan because I wanted her to see the life that she missed out on by being an apostate and not a tower mage.
Yeah, she's got some fun observations about this whole thing, so I definitely wanted to bring her along. And plus, her in the Fade is one of my favorite things in this game.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So,
Jim, who did you bring?
I have my dwarf character. I have Sten. I have Win, and I had Zevran.
oh, you already had Zevran.
Yes. At this point, I've already done the elf quest, and I've finished the Ashes of Andraste, and I've done the other big city part.
Oh, wow.
Denerim.
Oh my. Well,
Yeah, I know, guys.
yeah, that's impressive. So we'll get through the towers. The tower's pretty fast. The only real plot point you have is you meet a blood mage group and they, kill them except for this lady who survives. And then you can totally kill her, or you can let her go and go like hang out in the bottom floor and stay safe. Did you kill this blood mage lady?
No.
I did not as well. I'm like, because I figure I'm not bound by the rules of the Chantry as I'm an elf. I'm like, oh, yeah, do whatever you want. I don't care. Screw the Chantry. Matt, did you kill the blood elf lady?
No, I did not.
blood mage?
I'm starting to feel like I'm playing this game wrong.
Jim?
I did not.
And there's also a Tranquil guy who, because he's been lobotomized, doesn't realize things. He realizes he can't clean up as well as he'd like because there's this encroaching biomass growing over everything. But he's just like, I'm having problems cleaning. My storeroom is real gross.
Yeah, he mentions that he did try to leave, but he couldn't find a way out, so he's just like, I'll stay here.
Is that that's the guy that Matt
that guy
met
was
earlier
weird.
in his like opening thing,
Yeah.
right? He's fun. He's nice. Do you think you could date a Tranquil guy if he was really hot, Vanessa?
Well, he wouldn't have any emotions,
Well, which is good.
and he'd be really hot. So I'm not seeing a downside.
Yeah, like think about it. Be like, oh, do you want to go make breakfast? That's fine. Oh. Do you want to scratch my back for like 3 hours? Sure.
I guess he wouldn't be a great conversation.
Yeah, that's why you have
partner.
friends.
Exactly. That's why I have you guys.
Yeah, so you can date a lobotomized mage.
Yeah.
What about you two? Could you date someone who was Tranquil?
No.
No.
I'm bad at gym. I want to be loved by my partner.
So the where are we at now? Are we in the? Let's get to the Fade because the Fade is.
No, I found a man in a closet. It's very important.
Oh yeah, me too. There's so many closeted men in this game.
There are. Yeah, he came out of the closet and looked around, and then he went right back in.
Yep. I think he had the right idea. He was just a mage that was hiding.
Yeah. Anyway, it's nap time.
Oh, yeah, because you get up to the top floor and there's a sloth demon.
Yeah, he's real chill, and he's just like, hey, you've been working really hard, and you deserve a rest. Like,
This happened really fast.
yeah.
He says like 2 sentences to you, and then you're in the Fade, and then the game gets really monotonous for a minute.
Oh, yeah. The game becomes another game for a couple hours.
It does.
Yeah.
With its
a
own
real
little
drag.
puzzle system.
Its own little abilities.
Is this stuff going to continue throughout the rest of the game? Are we going to have to continue going back to the Fade and like shape shifting to?
Nope.
It doesn't happen at all on the Elf Quest or the Denerim
Weird.
Quest.
Yeah, this is it. This is the only time you get this. It's kind of like a little Super Metroid in the middle of your Dragon Age. Because you have to like unlock abilities to get through doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. So it's weird. You can't pick up items. You're in the Fade, and so what they've done instead of having items is there are codexes, which are just like they give you a little bit of experience and add a little bit of backstory, and stat upgrades.
like Metroid.
Essence of strength, essence of dexterity,
Cunning.
Vitality.
Cunning, constitution, and there's a bunch. Did you guys get them all? Like, I followed a fact. I got all of them.
I didn't. I think I got them all. I didn't follow a fact, but like I just went through every place and made sure I opened all the doors.
I feel
Yeah,
like
me too.
So
I
did
feel
I.
like it pumped up my stats by like 2.
Yeah.
I think it pumped up every stat by 2 points.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty good. It's like gaining several levels.
Duncan
so-
is there.
Yeah, to set the scene, you meet the sloth demon. It's this big, gross-looking demon guy. He makes your whole party fall asleep, and he sucks you into the Fade, which normally non-mages can't go into. And when you wake up in this dream world, Duncan is there.
Yeah, and everything's great. And Duncan's like, we did it. We defeated the Darkspawn. We're here in Grey Warden Tower. We're going to be keepers of history. You're great. I'm great. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, did you go along with it? Were you like, this doesn't seem real, or this isn't quite right? Or did you do what I do and said, yeah, this is awesome. I love this.
I went along with it a little bit, but then eventually you're sort of shoehorned, or at least I
Yes.
was, into thinking things weren't quite right.
Yeah, I definitely was just, I didn't have the patience for it. I was like, what are you doing? Stop acting like an idiot. Aren't you dead? You're dead.
Yeah, he's obviously dead.
Yeah, we saw him get murdered before. And
Yeah.
so I actually went through the entire conversation with him believing him, and it just like dumps you out, and there's just nothing you can do. You can talk to the other people there, but they just tell you about how you've won, the Darkspawn have been defeated, everything is amazing. And eventually you have to talk to Duncan because you're stuck here for the rest with nothing to do until you disagree with him. So I did. I talked to him, and he fights you, and the other Grey Wardens fight you, and you murderize them, and he disappears, but a pedestal that allows you to teleport, and you get this like mini map of a whole bunch. It's real complicated, a whole bunch of different places, but you can only go to one for now.
Yes, and there we meet a man who's super sad because he's been possessed by the sloth demon or something like that.
His name is Nyal.
Yeah.
Yes. He has a book that we need to defeat the blood mages, but he cannot give it to us in our dreams. He tells us he spoke to a mouse, who I
Ooh.
assume is Matt's friend, Mouse, from
Yeah,
before.
I think it must have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Went and I found this mouse myself, and the mouse is like, guess what? Turn into a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And we're granted the ability to turn into a mouse.
And
mouse
when you
time.
do, you get automatic stealth, which is fun. So you can walk around enemies if you don't want to bother fighting them.
He's very
Yes.
slow.
It is slow.
Yeah, he doesn't go very fast.
Yeah.
But you gotta like find the mouse holes to get through, because you can't. There's like fire blocking doors and stuff, and you can't go through that yet. So you gotta go through all the little mouse holes.
So
I don't
basically,
wanna-
there's all these nodes on a map, and each one of these nodes is like a little world, and each one gives you another ability, and then you can use them all to get through all of the worlds. And the abilities are: number 1, you can turn into a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2,
Squeaky squeakums.
you can turn into Burning Man.
The festival in the desert.
Which allows you to walk through
Yes.
fire.
Skellington flame guy.
Third one is you can turn into a golem, a big stone golem, and open these doors that are too heavy for you to open otherwise.
You can smash the massive
Marvel's
doors.
the thing.
And the fourth one is you turn into
The Spirit
a ghost,
Man.
a spooky
Ooh.
ghost.
Shadow Man.
Oh.
On the N64.
Yeah. And you sort of float around, and you can go through imaginary doors.
So, yep, and you like these worlds. It's the Fade, so it all looks the same basically. Some of it's like I don't know.
Well, they're themed. Like some of them's like the Mage Tower, and
Yeah.
one's like the Darkspawn Invasion.
Yeah, I died a bunch of times in the Mage Tower part.
Oh.
All the blood mages killed me a bunch of times.
I found. Well, first of all, so the blood mages are fighting each other constantly, and they seem to think this is a great plan. They're like, I know, there's one way to solve this. Let's all kill each other, and they agree and just start murdering each other. It's pretty funny. Like, and they seem really delighted by this idea.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. But the other plan I did is, I think by that point, yeah, I was either I was usually Burning Man. For most of this whole Fade thing, I stayed as Burning Man because he had Fireball, and that was the best.
The festival in the desert.
Yeah. And then I just like would walk around the corner, throw a fireball, let them set all the blood mages catch on fire and burn to death, and then come back out.
Oh, nice.
So Lana is a real, like hurricane. Like, she walks into a room and blows everybody away with spells in like 10 seconds. And it's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's everything I wanted. Like the fireball spell, if you're far enough away, you start with that, and then you freeze one of them, and then you lightning bolt another one, and then like, before they can even get to me, I've killed half of them. And then they get to me, and I start unleashing the close-up area of attack magic, and that just tears things to pieces, and it is delightful.
My character has stealth even when not a mouse. So she can go into sneaky mode and then either sneak past people or walk up to them and backstab them and then just unleash a flurry of blades with her 2 daggers, like shick, 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 shick. Acupuncture, you're dead. And it's great.
That does sound great.
So
what happens when it's a room full of bad guys? Can you turn invisible again?
Not once they see you. Yeah, once you're noticed, you're noticed. But the point of all of this is we go find our other 3 friends who are all having their own little dreams.
Well, there's 2 parts to this, because one is I don't know if you can leave your friends in the Fade. What you're supposed to defeat all the mini bosses in these little nodes, these little worlds around the center node, which is the one you need to get out. And it seems like it's optional to save your friends, but I don't know if that's true.
I don't think so, because I think going to save them helps to unlock the center island.
All right.
Yeah, I think you have to go through their little vignettes in order to make it to the center.
Let's all tell about one interesting vignette. I'll go first.
Okay.
And talk about Alistair, of course.
Oh, of course.
He's so dreamy. Anyway, Alistair is dreaming of his long-lost sister, Goldana, who we had actually had a conversation about earlier, and he said he has this half-sister. He'd really like to visit her. I promised we would, should the opportunity arise, but he is so eager for it that he's dreaming. She's a super nice lady. She's cooking him meals. She has lots of kids running around. He's really happy to have a family. He was really happy that I was there and was hoping I could stay for dinner. But I did have to tell him that his happiness was just an illusion. And none of this was real, and he gets really sad and whiny about it. I was like, look, Alistair, you gotta think about how you got here. And he's like, oh, all right, I'll think. And then he gets upset, and you fight and kill his sister, and the children turn into shambling corpses, and you kill them as well.
Oh,
He wouldn't
Yikes.
believe me at all, and I had to kill his sister and her children to snap him out of
Holy
it.
cow.
Oh, no. Well, he
Yikes.
watched.
Yep, while he watched.
Oh, no.
That
Yeah,
woke him up.
he assisted me, and then he starts to fade away, but he looks at you and is like, where are you going? Come back. Goodbye.
I did Morrigan's one, and that one was particularly entertaining because all the others get really tricked by the fade and can get lost in their fantasies. But Morrigan's like, look, I know you're a demon. Let's just end this right now. I know you're trying to tempt me. It's not working. Don't even bother. And
I wish I was using Morrigan.
she's fun in all these encounters. Pretty
What
much.
does her demon look like? Is it just a demon?
The demon is Flemeth.
Oh.
It's pretending to be her mother and saying horrible things about her. And she's like, look, I don't buy this. My mother would never speak like that. Stop talking, you dumb old woman. And yeah. And that's your Flem. And then you just have to fight the demon. It's just, there's no options. Like, you don't even have dialogue trees. She's just handling it. And it's really
nice.
funny.
You go, girl.
Yeah.
I'm interested in Zevran. What was he dreaming about, Jim?
Ooh, Zevran was so we haven't talked much about Zevran, but Zevran is he was one of the Antivan Crows, which is like an assassin group.
Yeah, I encountered him right
an elf.
after the Mage's Tower.
Yeah. He has a proclivity for sexual innuendo.
Mm-hmm. He sounds like Puss in Boots from the Shrek movies.
Yes. And so when you come upon him in the Fade, he is he's on like a torture rack being tortured by crows as what he thinks is like part of his training or initiation into the group. You have to talk to him and convince him that he is in fact already a crow and he's your friend. And then when you do, you have to fight the two crows that are torturing him. He does not help you. He just stands there.
He was, since we're talking about it, he was hired by Loghain in a cutscene that I guess just kind of happens randomly.
Yes.
Yeah, you in one of those battles on the world map, when you're going from place to place, you get like ambushed by some crows.
Yeah, this happened to me on my second trip to the tower.
You can spare he's the last one and you can spare. It's like, can you kill him? I imagine you can. It certainly was giving me that option, but I decided to let him stick around.
Yeah, for his sexy banter.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe there's... I can't really do the Antonio Banderas style voice. Where he's like, there's something more fun than we could be doing than just murdering me. Like I could, make out with you. How does that sound, pretty elf lady?
If you are a male character, he behaves in the same way to you. Fun fact.
This is the first. I think there was in the Sword Coast DLC for Baldur's Gate 2 a gay romantic interest and a dwarf you could hook up with. But so this might be the second BioWare gay romantic interest or bisexual.
KOTOR had a lesbian cat.
Yes, and I've never made that work. I've tried so hard to hook up with lesbian cat lady, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. You're just not their type, John.
I know. So Zevran, he's blonde. He's a white elf guy. He's very suave. I really like him. He's fun to have in your party.
He is.
Oh, okay.
And he's an assassin.
More brown.
What?
I thought he was like, I don't know.
Is he?
Hispanic or something.
Oh, well.
He seems like, I guess he is a little darker. He seems like not as white as like the human characters.
Okay. But not gray skin like Sten is.
No.
Correct.
So, so I got a little bit of backstory. You can explore it more later, but he basically tells you that he was a orphan child and adopted by the crows, which is a very nice life, but now his life is forfeit because he was sent to assassinate you, and if you are a crow and you do not fulfill your mission, your life is forfeit. You have. And he's like, well, so either I get murdered or I join up with you and maybe not get murdered. So that's why he will be loyal to you. And not to Lord Loghain, who has hired him to kill you.
New friends are great.
Yeah.
Any other interesting dreams we want to talk about?
I did Leliana, and it was annoying. Like, she was praying really hard, and the demon had taken the form of, like, a headmistress or whatever of the chantry and was, like, admonishing her. It was not great. I just kind of very quickly was like, hey, this is all fake. And she's like, nuh-uh. And I was like, cool, let me kill this lady, and then you'll definitely, you'll get it after I kill this woman. And so I did, and then she did.
With Wynn, she just sees all her mages she was trying to protect get killed off. And you try to snap her out of feeling sorry for herself, and she gets really mad at you. But then they come back, which is impossible, and you have to murder all the dead students again.
Yeah. And that's it, right? So then you go and you fight. You unlock the center node, and you appear.
Well, you get some bosses. Those mini bosses. Two of them are like, they're different kinds of demons. One's a big ogre. One's a dude. One's
like a naked
two are
lady.
naked ladies, right?
Yeah,
oh, we
two
forgot to
naked
talk
ladies.
about the naked lady in the Templar in the tower.
Oh yeah, she's
She's
like
a
a
desire demon. You run across her a few times because you run
Mm-hmm.
across her again when you deal with Connor.
I don't think it's the same demon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's not, because I killed the demon. I killed that demon, and then I killed this.
Yeah,
demon.
she's like got this Templar believing that they are lovers and that he's in a house with his children, and she's like, "Oh, just leave me alone. Just don't yuck my yum. Just let us be. I won't attack you. I'm kind of doing my own thing here, and you can be like Captain Kirk and ruin a good time."
And I did.
Me too.
Me too. I killed both of these
Yep.
people. I
Oh.
killed the Templar and the demon.
I killed the human, and I was like, "I'm saving you."
I didn't run into this pair.
Oh yeah, they're just in a side room on the tower. Oh, so I guess he's forever in your game, living a life of illusion. I think there is a good way to get him out and snap him, make him snap to reality and fight with you, but I've never done this successfully. I've always had to murder him. So it makes me think that maybe the true good thing is just to let the demon let him live.
Yeah, and feed off him until he slowly rots away into a withered old corpse, but at least he died happy.
Exactly.
So we kill the sloth demon at the center of these magical islands.
It's a real pain in the ass fight. He transforms like 6 fucking times.
He sure does.
This is not my final form.
Yeah, he just kind of cycles through various enemies you've already seen, and every time he does his health, every time you kill him, he cycles into another form. I think he literally does it like 5 times. It's
Yeah,
really
this
fucking
is
like the
like a-
obnoxious.
greatest hits.
This is a Dragon Age like thing that happens in. I think every Dragon Age game has at least 3 bosses like this, and they aren't great.
So you kill it, and you free whatever. Well, okay. So
Niall.
we didn't really talk about it. When you enter the inner sanctum, it is a dude, like a bald guy in a black robe, and he's
We aren't
torturing.
even there yet. Why would we talk about this at this point?
What?
Yeah, we're not. That happens after this.
We gotta fight the sloth demon.
Oh,
first.
really?
Yeah, you fight the sloth
okay.
demon.
Gotcha.
And you kill the sloth demon. Now you're out of the fade. You go before you leave the fade. You talk to Niall, and he's like, "Well, don't forget to loot my body." Bye."
Yeah. It's like, I've been here too long. I'm going
So
to
you get
die.
this-
Goodbye.
This litany is it liturgy? Is that the thing you have to read?
Yeah, you get a special book.
Yeah, so you get that whole thing.
Yeah, you get a
then
book that stuns demons.
It's actually because what it does is on the final boss fight, if you use it, he can't while he's summoning creatures, it'll interrupt the summon, and so it just prevents him spawning more backup.
Oh, interesting.
See, now when
Yeah.
I used it, it stunned all the creatures.
I think it.
Maybe it doesn't. I don't remember. I just remember him not being able to spawn.
Yeah,
anything.
for me, it didn't stun anyone, but it just interrupted his spawning.
Weird.
Maybe it depends on when you use it.
Yeah, that's probably it.
But on our way up there, we run into my favorite, a man in a cage.
Oh,
And
despite
it's
all his
not
rage.
just any man. It's a Templar named Cullen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this guy's a real douchebag. He like thinks that you're, a fantasy or whatever. He's been tortured by some of these demons,
Yeah.
and he just won't listen to reason at all. It's a real pointless conversation.
Yeah, I tried to tell him, hey, I'm just going to go upstairs and fight the first enchanter's buddies or whatever. And he's like, no, don't do it. You have to. Oh, no, I said I was going to try and save everybody. And I guess he realized I wasn't a demon because he kept telling me, no, you can't save everybody. Everyone's going to have to be murdered. They're going to have to do the rite of cleansing or whatever it is that kills everyone in the tower. And you're like, no, dude, just I got it. Don't worry. I got this liturgy thing I can read. Just relax. And he's like, no, you gotta kill everybody.
I came out like real fucking cockstrong, like, hey, he's like, the demons. And I'm like, those fucking demons should be scared of me, motherfucker. Listen up.
This feller Cullen, he turns up again in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
He's a major character.
Yeah, he's sort of the Alistair type character.
I've played that game, but I don't know
dude.
what you're talking about.
He's the head of the army.
Yeah. You know, in the map screen, there's 3 people that give you like quests and you can use to. Mm-hmm. He's the guy with the armies.
Weird.
You can sleep with him.
Oh, I did not. Because once you've got Iron Bull, everyone else just does not compare.
What about Blackwell? He seems like your type.
Yeah, no, he was too Armin Tanzarian for me. Spoiler.
So anyway, you storm the top of the tower, and you find some bald dude in a black robe torturing a mage, who he then turns into like a giant zombie mage monster man.
Yeah, he's just doing like your typical evil wizard shit.
Mm-hmm. And he's torturing the first enchanter who is not going along with it. And the first enchanter's voice, I don't know if it is the actor who plays the Emperor in Star Wars, but he sounds, and this is a good guy, he sounds like the Emperor from Star Wars.
Ian McDiarmid.
Is it that guy?
No, but that's the name of the Emperor. I saw him on stage once in a play called
He's reading
Faith
all
Healer.
his lines like this
was
Jedi.
So Uldred is he's like responsible for all of this junk that's happening in this
Right.
tower.
Yeah, you find out that he mobilized all the mages to become blood mages so they could free themselves with the help of a demon, and it turned out to be a bad plan. And that's why there's
gotta kill him dead.
The further you go up the tower, the more. Do you remember Garuberk Tower from Phantasy Star 4? How it's just all like biomass. Like once you get to the top floor, it's just all writhing biomass, goopy. Ugh. And that's what this Uldred guy really. Does he Akira out after you chat with him? I think he does, right?
Does he
Akira
what?
out, like, you know,
Yeah,
turns into like a big monster.
Doesn't he turn into like a big demon monster thing?
Yeah.
Isn't that the pride demon?
Is that what you're fighting?
Or no?
The demon inside? I thought he just like turned into a tyrant from Resident Evil. And then you fight him.
I don't remember.
Vanessa.
He get real big.
Yeah.
I think it is the pride demon, right?
I don't know.
Because that's how he was turning people into abominations, was with the help of the demon, right?
Well, he turns into this goopy demon thing, and it's like a big major boss battle. He's summoning all the mages that are standing around and turning them into monsters to attack you, and you can stop that by using this litany thing or chant that Niall gave you on his body. He was like kind of bummed about it. He's like, I guess it's on my body. Like, he thought it was kind of weird telling you to loot his corpse. Poor guy. This was a tricky boss fight, but not as hard for me. The one in the courtyard of Connor's castle was way harder than this one. But I also had a lot more potions.
Yeah, I haven't been having a lot of trouble with this. Old Miss Mage is really good at tearing things to pieces. So, yeah. So, what happens after you finally defeat this guy?
You defeat him, and the first enchanter's like, oh, well, that's neat. I'm okay. Let's go downstairs and tell the Templar Gregoire that everything's fine, and get all the survivors the help they need. And that's what you do.
Do you have an option to kill Irving? Because the dialogue seemed to imply that you could.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
you
you can
do?
like do the rite of cleansing thing on all the mages if you want. I wouldn't recommend it.
I think if you do that, like if you tell Cullen that you're going to kill everyone, I think Wynn leaves the party at that point.
Whoa. Because
Wow.
at the end, you sort of say like, you have the option of killing all the mages for sure at the end of this quest.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think Wynn sticks around if you do that.
And I do not do that. I wanted to have Wynn my party, so I say let's make you can have the sort of. I think this results in either having the Templars on your side, having the mages on your side, or having both. And I opted to have both on my side.
Hooray!
It does require a little negotiation to make sure that the Templars do not kill the mages and the mages don't kill the Templars. Although I don't think that's an option. Is that an option? Is there a way to kill all the Templars? Maybe not.
I don't know. None of us did that.
Yeah, so none of us did that. You get the mages on your side. Now, I did this before going to Redcliffe, so in my game, I went back to Redcliffe, met the boy, realized he needed mages, went back to the tower, talked to Irving, and said, oh, by the way, can you help me out with this boy situation? And I'm having boy problems. And he said, well, I guess I owe you, so sure. So,
yeah, he was like, there's a life at stake. And I was like, fuck off, guy.
You're being melodramatic.
yes. So, you, with a ton of mages in tow, you head back to Redcliffe Castle. This is where I got ambushed by Zevran, but we worked things out, and now are besties.
So, did you guys already talk about the end of the Redcliffe Castle, or are we going to talk about that now?
No, we're going to talk about it now.
All right, so we go back to the castle, and if you're, not a monster, you have the help of the mages. They create a rift, and in my case, my main character goes through. I guess you guys probably had to send a mage through, just like a rando.
Yeah.
I
Who
sent
did you
Win.
send?
I sent Morrigan. Jim?
I sent Morrigan into the Fade
Yeah.
as well.
I think there's a way to send Irving if you can convince him.
Oh.
Oh, interesting.
I had the option to send Jawain as well.
Yeah, I had that option too. I wonder if you were able to play as him if you sent him.
I think because you play as Morrigan, which is interesting. I really like that, actually.
But I did not send Zhao in. I just went in myself, and as usual, I am able to just destroy fucking everything that gets in my way in the Fade. But you have to hunt down Connor, and I don't know, you fight him a few times, and he's like a whiny little brat, and he turns into like a demon lady.
And you can the Arl's in the Fade too, and I think that is his consciousness. That's why he's sleeping. So he's basically to keep him safe. The demon did, if he was not in the Fade, he would be dying, and that's the demon side of the bargain. So he's in stasis on Earth or on Ferelden, but in the Fade is still conscious. But he doesn't.
Yeah,
you can't really
he's
speak.
searching for his son, and he can't find him.
Yeah, so it's kind
Which
of a
is
nightmare
weird
state.
because I found him 15 times, and if he had just left the one small area he was standing in and walked over to one of the other 3 alcoves surrounding that area, he would have found his son pretty easily. It was really not hard.
Yeah, but you know how dreams are. You can think you're looking, but you're not really.
Yeah. I really liked his Morrigan. You have the option to be mean or nice when you meet the boy. I was like, oh, be nice to the boy. And Morrigan really doesn't like this. She's like, all right, so lovely little child.
Sucks that I missed out on some good Morrigan stuff. I'm gonna use her. Fuck this fucking I'm all like I gotta use the best party, but I don't know why. I don't like any of the characters in my party. Fucking Alistair and Leliana, I don't like them at all. They blow. So, anyway, and then you fight the Desire Demon
8 times,
Connor, and you win.
Yeah,
you free him.
You're trying to convince Connor. Yeah, at first you're trying to convince Connor to dismiss the demon, but then you realize eventually that you're talking to the demon, and directly say, "Hey, look, I'm not going to leave you alone. So let's just do this." And the demon does, and you have a boss fight with the demon and some buddies, some those. At least for me, those weird fiery demon things.
Yeah, greater rage demons or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Morrigan has ice spells and can kill them with one shot, even on hard.
Yeah, the ice spells one-shot them. So, you kill the demon, and then you kind of get zapped into the apartments in Redcliffe Manor or whatever, and you have a brief conversation with... it kind of... I don't know, man. It was confusing for me. It cut to a cutscene of, bodies being carted away and, put onto boats, and then the boats were being let down the river, and then people were shooting fire arrows at them, whatever those are called.
Yeah.
Viking funeral style stuff. So I wasn't sure if I had managed to save Connor or not, but then it cut away. It cut back to the castle, and Connor is fine. He's just like he was before. He doesn't remember any of it. The Earl is still asleep. He is still in a coma, and the mom convinces me to go find this urn to save her husband so that he can lend me his armies or whatever.
I'm up for whatever.
At this point, we have the support of the Templars, if we did it correctly, and the mages, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And now now you still don't have the support of the Arl because he's in a coma, and the boy and the mom aren't really up for.
But the band or whoever is rallying the countryside. He says that he's going to stay and train more troops and get everything ready for when the Arl awakens.
Okay. Well, that's
Jim,
sort of good.
Isolde was dead in your game, right? Because you had the
Yes.
demon go into her and then killed her or something?
Yep, she's dead. She was used as a human sacrifice in order to get into the Fade.
So, who told you to find the urn?
It was you learn about the quest in Redcliffe, right? Because they talk about Genovese, Brother Genovese.
Yeah.
And I believe it's Bantegan who says, "Oh yeah, he went looking for this thing, and you need to go pick up his trail."
And Sarah Bryant tells you
and
about
they say,
it too.
"I think he went to this village or whatever."
Yeah.
He's in, not village. He's in, he says he thinks Genitally was in Denerim.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you go to his house in Denerim.
And I've also been pointed there by some notebooks I found in Lothering saying that last they saw Sir Genitally was Denerim. And I talked to the guy at the chantry there about it.
Yeah, that's a really fun...
So is that the next step of this quest? When are we going to cover this part?
This is a side quest, but an optional one. We can talk about it when we get to Denerim, I think.
Okay.
Because it'll sort of go in with that whole Denerim stuff.
Next time we're going to go see the elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the next episode of Square Roots, we're going to cover the Dalish elf quest line. So from the arrival at the Dalish camp all the way through to the end, through the elven ruins and the werewolves and all that stuff.
Ooh, the Dalish elves.
Yep, delicious elves.
Are there any
no mini games?
No.
Well, then I guess that means we need to dive straight into Squarely Against.
Oh boy. Squarely Against.
I think it would be low-hanging fruit to say I'm squarely against the Fade portion, but I'll look on the bright side of things and say that it was fun to shapeshift into monsters and stuff and bust down doors.
I wish you could take that into the rest of the game.
I'm definitely
Me too.
roundly for a chunk of the game that just like wildly powers you up for no good reason or with no explanation. Like if this happened 3 more times, I would be really happy. Does anybody else want to volunteer?
I'm squarely against Confessions of Love at the base of a tower, in which there is a slaughter and fleshy growths
You did
of
it to
demonic
yourself. You
Yeah.
were
proportions going on
romancing the guy. Like you chose the place and the timing.
There could have been, I'm sure there's dialogue options saying, can we talk about this later? I'm in the middle of
Yeah.
something here.
Well, I got excited.
I am squarely against that the lady demons are hot tasseled ladies that are nude, but the male demons are like just gross abomination blobby forms. There's no hot dude demons, and that is a shame. I want to see some hot dude demons.
Yeah, these desired demons are real underdressed. They're not really nude. They've got like pasties on though. That's it.
Tassels.
Do
They've got tassels.
I thought you could see their
No,
nipples.
It's like
and-
they've got tiny pieces of cloth that cover only the nipple.
And it's got cloth physics.
You might
on
as
it.
well just
You
show
might
So
it.
you can
as well.
watch them sway when they move, the little cloths on their pasties.
Realistic.
Oh,
It is
boy.
a weird sprite design. It feels like a holdover from an older game.
Yeah.
You know, where everyone was in bikini armor and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is an older
That
game.
is silly.
So, is that it, guys? Are we done? Did we do the podcast? We did the whole
a
thing?
podcast. We just got to talk
We
about
did.
a Patreon.
Yep. Let's go ahead and plug the Patreon, of which you can become a member if you go to patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. You can listen to us do cool things like talk about how we leveled up. We do special level up
No, we don't.
episodes, or
No.
oh, we don't do that. Oh, we don't do that, right?
They are on there.
You
There
can-
are some. You can go back and listen. But we do versus episodes and we do instant classics.
You can listen
Yeah.
to the January episode of Square Roots Versus, where the gang played Barkley, Shut Up, and Jam Gaiden, and as I gather, they didn't particularly enjoy it. I was not on it, and I have not listened to it yet. If you subscribe in February, when this episode is released, you can look forward to Square Roots Instant Classic. I believe we're covering Spider-Man. Is that right?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man for the PlayStation
Turn off
4.
the dark.
If you want to listen to us talk about Spider-Man, that is patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast. Come and give us a, donation.
I've been listening to some other hard podcasts that do way too of a hard sell. And I know I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. It's cool. Like, we've got patrons and it's really awesome. And if you can't do it, no biggie. No pressure. I don't want to be the podcast that's high pressure about the Patreon.
Fuck that. We have not been getting much in the way of new patron subscribers in the last couple of months. Get on it, ladies and gentlemen.
If
Oh,
you
well,
feel like it.
there was a big government shutdown. It was the
Yep.
holidays. People
When
had
did the
other
government
things
shut
to-
down? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, boy. Open a book.
One of the benefits of
About
being a
now.
patron is that we
Call
read
the
a big
newspaper.
fat list of names at the end of each episode, and I think we're going to go do that right now. So here are the current subscribing patrons. Jim.
Yep, let me kick it off. We are kicking off with Andrew. I'm Andrew Random Letters.
He
is
doesn't
what I'm
like
gonna
that. He
keep
says
refer-
that they mean something.
There's both names here. There's an Andrew Random Letters and an Andrew Granieri.
Maybe they're different Andrews.
I mean, they're both names are on here.
I don't have the
So,
notes
and-
open, so I'll just
There are two Andrews. I
count
see it.
on whatever
I see it.
you say.
Mhm.
It's,
looking
it's
at
real,
'em.
Vanessa. Like
Yeah.
climate change
So-
and evolution.
So Andrew Random Letters, Andrew Granieri, Artie Pavlov, Ashley T, Benjamin Avner, Benzina Banzoni, Bobby Midkiff, Brady A. Berman, Bree Girth, Brian Pitt, Brian Stone, Brody Brooding, Brady Brandy, Brandon Bradley Toy, Cameron Show, Kevin Musser, Chris Penyak, Cyril the Wolf, and David Green.
I don't I have the notes open, and my computer's being slow.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'll be
I'm
Vanessa.
just gonna pass on this.
David Shook, David Sloan, Eric Garvey, Florian Jonas Kramer, Gage Charité, George Armbruster, Go Cry Wolf, Gregory, Huxley Aquana, Jake Dickerson, James Hostetler, James Platt, Jonathan Ellsworth, Jonathan Lee, Joseph A. Rogers, Josh Anderson, Julia Zanella, Julia Titus, and Justin Benoit.
Kill me.
That was a
That's
perfect
disturbing.
Vanessa.
That
Jesus
sounded
And we lost
just
all of
like
those
me.
Patreon
Don't
subscribers.
forget about Justin Ham, Vanessa, Mom, Crystal, Cameron, Lord, Palmerstein, Matt, Jorgensen, Megan, Sullivan, Miguel Torres, Mothman, Mothmas, Mandalorian, Marmalade Makes Maz Money, a.k.a. Dr. Steve Stone, Nathan Poirot, Nick, Owen Marble, Patrick Coover, Lord of Binturongs, Patrick W. Bears, PJ Enns, Race Jenkins, Randy Pierce, Rusty Kamada. John?
All right. Robert M. Pullum, Robert T., Ross Hartley, Ryan Miller, Sam Harrison, Sammy Mitchell, Sean Walsh, Stu Skeel, Tom, Tracy Tanoff, Tyler Petty, Vanessa's mom, I can't say it, Ward Childress, Wonder Swan, Xavier Krieger, Zachary Davis, Xavier Krieger, and Zachary Davis.
I want everybody to know that the Tom on our Patreon list, yes, that is MySpace Tom.
Oh,
he is
that's
still
great.
our friend.
Oh.
Thanks, Tom.
Hey, friends. Do you want to send us an email? Please do. You can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. And if you don't want to send us an email but just want to talk to us about whatever random shit pops into your head, join the Facebook group. That is Square Roots, the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. You can also find us on Twitter at Square Roots Pod.
We've gotten a couple emails, but we keep running very late in these episodes, so we haven't had time to read one. But we'll try
Well,
to
next
be
week should be
quicker
shorter.
next
Yeah.
time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to Edward Alenko for his cover of Leliana's song. You can find him on YouTube or at facebook.com/edwardmusic. We will have links to his Facebook profile and his SoundCloud in the show notes.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you screenshot your review and post to the Facebook group or Twitter, I'll tell you how you leveled up. And yeah, the Edward Alenko song is way too good for this podcast. It's really, really good. And I feel bad putting us being silly over the end credits sometimes. But I'm like, oh, but I love doing that.
All right, everybody. Well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. Like we said before, we are playing through the Dalish Elf quest line for the next episode. So
Delicious.
tune in for that next week. Otherwise, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I am John Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa.
Bye.
Are you going to talk about Dragon Ball Z?
I'm going to talk about Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Are you going to talk about glamping?
Glamping?
Glamorous camping.
Probably not. There's not a lot to say about that. I went and got drunk in the woods for a couple of days with my friends and my son. It was fun.
I like the idea of you just getting drunk and wandering into the woods for a couple days. Like stumbling down creek banks.
Mm-hmm. Coincidentally, there's been an increase in Bigfoot sightings in the west coast of Florida.
They say there's big clouds of vapor that are constantly escaping Bigfoot's
I
mouth.
lost my e-cigarette somewhere in the woods while I was out four-wheeling around in the forest. It went flying out of my pocket somewhere, and I just couldn't. I didn't realize it for an hour.
Some lucky raccoon is getting its vape.
Yeah, or a bull. I saw a bull, and it was big. It was like a...
In the woods? Bulls don't live in the woods.
Yeah, but this one did.
Like a wild woods bull?
It was like a It looked like one of them Brahma bulls with the big, heavy
the hump.
shoulders and the big, gigantic horns. And he was just hanging out down this dirt road out in the middle of this hunting preserve and like wildlife preserve. Just like he was far enough away that he was far enough away that we weren't too worried about it, but he was close enough that I was a little worried that we were going to have to like run for it.
Yeah, I saw those in Florida. I'm pretty sure that you just went to Animal Kingdom and rode the safari ride. Is that what you meant by camping in the woods? You went to Disney's Animal Kingdom?
Did you put a VR headset on and just watch National Geographic?
Yes, and masturbated the entire weekend away. So anyway, I guess we should probably talk about how we're going to level up, because that's basically what we're doing.
Yeah. Why don't you go first?
All right.